I wasn't in the room when she broke the throne. I heard it through the comms, stone fracturing, something heavy collapsing, and then silence. Not the usual kind. The kind that spreads, like everyone suddenly remembers they can die. Say it again, a voice cut through. Calm. Flat. Not loud. That was her. They replayed the feed for me later. The war table still glowing. 12 dreadnoughts burning in orbit like dying stars. And in the middle of it all, a small object on display. Charred, bent, barely holding together. A data tag. Recovered from the wreckage. Your radiance, someone said. Careful voice. Measured. What is it? Not Karath. Human make. Civilian issue. Pause. Then, quieter, read it. Another hesitation. I could hear it even through the recording. It contains a name, your radiance. A child. Not registered in any Karath system. Silence again. Longer this time. Then why? She said. Is it in the middle of my fleet? No one answered. I didn't know about the tag yet. Not then. Not when I was sitting in a station corridor with my hands wrapped in medgel and the smell of burnt wiring still stuck in my clothes. Back in that room, someone tried to redirect. The human vessel. I did not ask about the vessel. A shift in tone. Not louder. Worse. I asked for the human. Another pause. You could almost hear people deciding how much they valued breathing. Alive. Alive, she said. Then, after a second. For now. That was the moment everything narrowed. Not the fleet. Not the politics. Not the war. A broken piece of metal with a child's name on it. And me, apparently, somewhere on the other end of it. They told her it wasn't an attack. That was the first mistake. I've seen what real attacks look like. Clean strikes. Clean losses. You know where the fire comes from, and you know where it lands. This wasn't that. This was confusion. Panic. Systems feeding back into themselves until everything folded inward. I watched the recordings 3 times before they came for me. Her fleet had come out of relay and formation. Tight. Disciplined. Exactly how you'd expect from something that size. 12 dreadnoughts. Enough firepower to erase a city without slowing down. We were already there. Not by choice. We were escorting a refugee convoy. Slow, overloaded transports packed with people who didn't have anywhere else to go. Kids, mostly. The kind that don't understand why adults stop answering questions. The Amara wasn't built for war. She wasn't even built for conflict zones. Not really. She was a medical frigate. Reinforced hull, extended life support, basic shielding. Enough to get people out. Not enough to hold a line. But we didn't have anywhere else to go. They're locking weapons, my systems officer said. No panic. Just stating a fact. Of course they are, I answered. We didn't run. That's the part they didn't understand. That's the part she didn't understand. Running would have been easy. The Amara was light. Fast enough to slip past the outer edge of their formation before they fully deployed. But the convoy behind us? Slow. Unshielded. Dead. So I put us in the only place that made sense. Right in front of them. Identify vessel. Their signal came through. Formal. Detached. I didn't answer. Final warning. You are obstructing a Karath military operation. Yeah, I said mostly to myself. That's the point. They opened fire. There's a moment, right before impact, where everything goes quiet. Not outside. Inside. Like your brain is trying to decide if it should keep going. Then it hits. Our barrier wasn't standard. It wasn't even finished. Something experimental one of our engineers had been working on. Never meant for combat. It didn't block energy. It bent it. The first volley hit the field and split. Angles shifting, vectors rewriting themselves faster than the systems could compensate. What should have passed through us curved outward. And back. Their own fire returned to them. Not all of it. Not clean. But enough. One ship took a direct feedback into its forward array. Another caught a redirected beam along its reactor line. Then another. Chain reaction. I remember watching it happen and thinking, this isn't stopping. 12 ships. One mistake. And then silence. No more fire. No more signals. Just debris drifting where an armada used to be. Behind us, the convoy kept moving. I sat there for a long time after that, hands still on the controls, listening to systems trying to stabilize around me. We're alive, someone said. Yeah, I answered. That was the second mistake. Because somewhere far away, in a room I hadn't seen yet, someone was watching the same footage and coming to a very different conclusion. If you've watched this far, then this story is really interesting to you. Please confirm it by clicking like under this video. It doesn't cost you anything, but it will help me understand what story to publish for you next. Let's move on. They didn't come with sirens. No warnings. No dramatic entrance. Just 4 armored figures stepping into a hospital corridor like they owned the air in it. I was sitting outside the recovery ward when they found me. Hands wrapped. Uniform half burned. Coffee gone cold somewhere to my left. I'd been staring at the floor long enough that the patterns in it started looking like something I could fix. Ryan Hale. I looked up. Tall. All of them. Armor polished. Markings lit just enough to make a point. Not a rescue team. Not here to help. Yeah, I said. You will come with us. No explanation. No paperwork. No attempt to make it sound optional. Behind them, I could see movement. Nurses pulling patients back. Doors sealing. People pretending not to watch. I stayed where I was. There are kids in there, I said, nodding toward the ward. Post-op. Some of them barely made it through transport. They are not our concern. That was the moment I decided I didn't like them. They should be, I said. A slight shift. Not aggression. Adjustment. Like they were recalibrating what I was. One of them stepped closer. You destroyed 12 Karath warships, he said. You are the concern. I let that sit for a second. Your ships destroyed themselves, I said. I just didn't move. His markings flickered. I didn't know what it meant. Didn't care. Get up. I pushed myself to my feet. Slow. My hands protested immediately, the burns still fresh under the wraps. You going to let me grab my jacket? I asked. No. All right. I didn't argue after that. There wasn't a version of this where I talked my way out of it in a hallway. As we walked, I caught a glimpse through the ward window. One of the kids was awake. Watching. Small. Maybe 8. Bandages around her head, one arm in a sling. Eyes too alert for someone who should have been resting. For a second, I thought about stopping. Saying something. I didn't. Instead, I followed the soldiers. The transport was waiting outside. Clean. Efficient. No markings beyond what mattered. They didn't restrain me. Didn't need to. Am I under arrest? I asked as we boarded. You were summoned. By who? A pause. Then, Empress Nisra. I sat down across from them, elbows on my knees, staring at the deck between my boots. Right, I said quietly. The engines engaged without warning. Smooth lift. No wasted motion. No one spoke after that. I try not to think about what waited on the other end. Didn't work. Because somewhere in the back of my head, something kept repeating. Not the fleet. Not the explosion. The tag. I hadn't realized I was still holding it until one of them glanced down at my hand. Cracked. Burnt. Edges warped from heat. Still readable. A name. I closed my fingers around it without thinking. Drop that, one of them said. No. He didn't move. Neither did I. A second passed. Then he looked away. The ship cut through atmosphere, and the light shifted, amber bleeding through the viewport as we descended toward something too large to be called a city. That was when it finally settled in. I wasn't a pilot anymore. I wasn't a medic. I wasn't even a witness. I was a problem, and I was being delivered straight to the person who didn't like unanswered questions. I leaned back, closed my eyes for a second, and exhaled. Yeah, I muttered. This is going to go great. The throne room was exactly what you'd expect. Too big. Too quiet. Built to remind you that you didn't belong there. The doors opened without a sound, and for a second, all I could see was light reflecting off polished black stone. Then the scale of it hit. Columns stretching up into shadow, rows of figures on either side, all watching. Waiting. For the record, I muttered under my breath. This is excessive. No one reacted. Of course they didn't. Move, the guard behind me said. I did. Step by step, straight down the center. No escort now. No hands on my shoulders. Just distance and attention pressing in from both sides. I could feel it. Judgment, curiosity, something sharper underneath. At the far end, raised above everything else, was the throne. And her. Empress Nisra didn't move when I entered. Didn't lean forward. Didn't gesture. Just watched. Tall. Still. Armor, not robes. That stood out immediately. Not decoration. Not for show. Something functional, even here. I stopped where the floor changed, lighter stone marking a boundary. Ryan Hale, she said. Her voice didn't echo. It didn't need to. That's me. I answered. A ripple moved through the room. Subtle. Controlled. But it was there. I didn't kneel. That part was intentional. You stand in the heart of the Karath Dominion, she said. before its ruler. Yeah, I said, glancing around briefly. I figured. Another ripple. Stronger this time. Someone shifted behind me, probably reaching for something sharp. You were not instructed to speak freely. I wasn't instructed not to, I replied. That one landed. I could feel it. Her gaze didn't change, but something in the room did, tightened, like a wire pulling taut. You destroyed 12 of my warships, she said. No, I answered. I didn't. Silence. You are recorded placing your vessel between my fleet and its objective. Correct. You deployed an unknown defensive system that redirected Karath weapons fire. Also correct. And yet, she said, leaning forward slightly, you claim no responsibility. I shrugged just a little. They fired first. That did it. A figure to my left stepped forward, larger, markings flaring bright. You dare. Stop, she said. He stopped. Instantly. Didn't argue. Didn't finish the sentence. Just stepped back like the floor had shifted under him. She stood. That changed everything. Up close, she was taller than I expected. Not just height, presence. The kind that makes your brain quietly suggest you should probably be somewhere else. She walked down the steps slowly, each movement controlled, deliberate. Stopped a few feet in front of me. You were facing a Karath military operation, she said. A matter beyond your species' concern. There were kids behind me. I said. I did not ask what was behind you. That's the problem. Another silence. Different this time. Not tension. Focus. Her eyes narrowed slightly. You speak as if you had a choice. I did. You could have fled. Yeah. You could have preserved your vessel. Your crew. Yeah. And instead, she said, voice lowering, you chose to stand. Yeah. Why? That was the first real question. Not accusation. Not protocol. Why? I met her gaze. Because at that point, there wasn't much else to do. Because someone had to, I said. It sounded simple. It was. That's what made it worse. The room didn't like that answer. I could feel it. Too small. Too human. Not strategic. Not impressive. Just there. Her expression didn't change. But her markings, subtle, shifting along her arms, flickered once. Brief. Almost missed it. You expect this explanation to justify the loss of 9,000 Karath lives. I'm not trying to justify anything, I said. You asked what happened. That's what happened. A pause. Then, you are not sorry. There it was. I exhaled slowly. No, I said. That hit harder than anything else. I didn't have to look to know what the room did with that. Shock. Anger. Disbelief. You admit. I said I'm not sorry. I cut in. That's not the same thing. Her head tilted slightly. Explain. I glanced down at my hands for a second. The wraps were still there. Still stained through. Then back at her. 200 kids are alive, I said. Your fleet isn't. Silence. Absolute. I know which number I can live with. No one moved. No one breathed. For a second, I thought that was it. That this was the moment where someone decided I'd said enough. Her gaze stayed on me, unblinking, measuring something I couldn't see. Then, you will remain here, she said. Not loud. Final. As what? I asked. Her eyes didn't leave mine. That, she said, is still under consideration. I almost laughed. Didn't. Right, I said. Behind her, the court shifted again, uncertain now, not just tense. She turned away first. Walked back toward the throne like the conversation had already ended. Which, I guess it had. I stood there for a second longer, then looked down at my hand. The tag was still there. Still cracked. Still real. I closed my fingers around it. And for the first time since they took me, I had a feeling this wasn't about the fleet anymore. I didn't hear the explosion. Not at first. What I felt was the floor shifting, just enough to make my balance adjust before my brain caught up. A low vibration rolled through the palace, deep and wrong, like something structural had just decided it didn't want to be structural anymore. Then came the sound. Not a single blast. A series of them. Close. Too close. The guards reacted instantly. Weapons up. Formation tightening. Not toward the damage. Toward her. Secure the Empress. Of course. I was already moving before anyone told me to. Stay where you are, someone snapped. Yeah. No. I turned toward the smoke. It was rising from the eastern wing. Thick. Dark. Carrying that unmistakable smell of burned stone and overheated systems. Not a fire. Not random. Targeted. Contain the perimeter. Find the attackers. No one said help the people inside. I ran. No plan. No clearance. Just instinct. The corridor was half collapsed by the time I got there. Debris everywhere. Sections of ceiling down. Support beams twisted into shapes they weren't meant to hold. And underneath it, voices. Not shouting commands. Not organized. Screaming. I didn't think about rank. Or protocol. Or the fact that I was probably making a very bad decision. I dropped to my knees and started pulling. Stone first. Then metal. Then something that used to be a wall panel. My hands protested immediately, the burns tearing open under the strain. Didn't matter. I found the first one quick. Young. Small. One of the lower caste staff. Arms pinned, markings flickering erratically. Hey, I said, more out of habit than anything. Stay with me. She didn't understand the words. Didn't need to. I shifted the beam enough to drag her free. Not clean. Not careful. Just enough. Carried her out. Dropped her into the hands of someone who looked like they knew what they were doing. Then I went back. Again. And again. Time stopped making sense after that. Just wait. Heat. Noise. Movement. At some point, my shoulder gave out. Sharp, immediate, wrong. I reset it against a broken support column, bit down on fabric, and kept going. Didn't count how many I pulled out. Didn't count how many I didn't. Then I heard her. Not loud. Not screaming. Just there. Commander. I froze. Turned. She was under the collapse. A section of ceiling had come down across her lower body, heavy enough that the surrounding structure was still settling around it. Her armor had taken the initial impact, but the weight was pinning her in place. Her markings were dim. Too dim. You shouldn't be here, she said. Yeah. I answered, already moving toward her. I'm getting that a lot today. I dropped beside her, scanning the debris. Can you feel your legs? A pause. I am the Empress of the Karath Dominion. Can you feel your legs? Another pause. Shorter. No. All right. I grabbed a length of twisted support metal, wedged it under the slab. Tested the leverage. Bad. Really bad. You cannot lift that, she said. Probably not. Then stop. No. I adjusted position. Found a better angle. Something that might hold for a second if everything else didn't fall apart first. Listen, I said. When this moves, you need to pull forward. Use your arms. All of them. I do not require instruction. You do if you want to get out from under a building. That shut her up. Good. I braced. Pushed. Nothing. Again. Something shifted. Barely. The structure groaned above us. Human, she said. Leave. No. You will die here. Yeah, I said. That's usually how this works. I pushed again. Harder. Everything screamed this time. Shoulder, back, hands tearing open under the pressure. The slab moved. An inch. 2. That's it, I said through my teeth. Move. She did. All 4 arms digging into the ground, pulling herself forward with a force that didn't match how she looked a second ago. The slab slipped. I pushed again. Everything I had left. For a second it held. Just enough. She cleared it. The moment she was out, I let go. The slab dropped back into place with a sound that shook the remaining structure. And then, nothing. Just breathing. Dust. Silence. I rolled onto my back, staring up at what was left of the ceiling. Well, I muttered. That could have gone worse. She turned her head toward me. Up close. Her markings were different. Not dim anymore. Not controlled. Something else. You are injured, she said. I'm alive. That is not the same thing. Close enough. I closed my eyes for a second. Just a second. Then I felt it. Her gaze. Not the same as before. Not measuring. Not judging. Something else. I opened my eyes. She was looking at my hand. Still clenched. I hadn't even realized I was holding it through all of that. The tag. Cracked. Burned. Unchanged. Her expression shifted. Slightly. What is that? She asked. I looked at it. Then back at her. Nothing, I said. But for the first time, that wasn't true anymore. They kept me in the medical wing for 2 days. Didn't ask permission. Didn't ask questions either. Just fixed what they could. Karath tech is efficient. No wasted motion. No bedside manner. You either heal or you don't, and if you don't, they stop investing resources. I healed. Not fully. Not fast. But enough. When I woke up, she was already there. No guards. No armor. No throne. Just sitting. You are conscious, she said. Working on it, I answered. My voice felt wrong. Dry. Slower than it should have been. She didn't react to that. You should not have survived those injuries. Yeah, I said. I hear that a lot too. A pause. Then, you saved 9 of my people. I pulled them out, I corrected. Saving happens after. She studied me. Not like before. Not trying to figure out what I was. Trying to figure out something else. You also saved me. I didn't answer that. Didn't need to. She shifted slightly, her gaze dropping for a moment, to my hands. Still wrapped. Still healing. You held onto that object, she said. Even then. There it was. I exhaled slowly. Yeah. What is it? Not a demand. A question. That was new. I looked at it for a second before answering. The cracks hadn't changed. The burn marks still cut across the surface, distorting the engraving just enough to make you work to read it. But I knew it. I didn't need to read it. It's a data tag, I said. Civilian issue. I am aware of what it is, she said. I am asking why you keep it. I hesitated. Not because I didn't know. Because I did. And saying it out loud made it real in a different way. It's not mine, I said finally. She waited. Didn't interrupt. Didn't push. Just waited. It belonged to a kid, I continued. Transport evac. Border zone. Years ago. Her markings shifted slightly. Subtle. Listening. We were late, I said. Flat. Simple. We got there, pulled who we could, moved fast. That's how it works. You don't stop. You don't think about the ones you miss, because if you do, you miss more. I turned the tag in my hand. The name caught the light for a second. Just a second. I missed one, I said. Silence. She didn't make it onto the ship. I thought she did. I checked the manifest, counted heads, did everything by the book. I laughed once. Short. Empty. Turns out the book doesn't always catch everything. I didn't look at her. Didn't need to. I found this later, I said. After. In the wreckage. A pause. Longer this time. And you kept it, she said. Yeah. Why? That question again. Always that question. Why? I shrugged slightly. Because it's easier than forgetting, I said. That is not an answer. It's the only one I've got. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, that is why you did not move. I looked up at her. She wasn't guessing. She knew. You saw the convoy, she continued. And you saw this. Her gaze flicked briefly to the tag. And you chose not to repeat the outcome. Something like that. You risked your life. Your crew. Your vessel. For strangers. Yeah. You did not know them. No. They had no value to your species. No strategic importance. Correct. And yet you stood. Yeah. She leaned back slightly. Not distancing. Processing. Among her kind, emotions were controlled. Regulated. Displayed with precision. But now, her markings shifted. Not the sharp, reactive flickers I'd seen before. Something slower. Spreading. A deep blue. I didn't know what it meant. Not yet. But I knew it wasn't meant for everyone. There is no word for this, she said quietly. For what? For what you describe. I almost smiled. Yeah, I said. We don't really have one either. Another silence. Different. Not empty. Full. You confuse me, she said. I've been told that too. You are weak, she continued. Fragile. Your species does not endure. Sounds about right. And yet, she said, her voice lowering slightly, you act with a certainty my people cannot replicate. I looked at her. Maybe we just don't overthink it. I said. Her markings pulsed once. Brighter. That blue again. Stronger. In my culture, she said slowly. This display. She stopped. Adjusted. It is not voluntary. I didn't say anything. Didn't need to. It indicates trust, she said. Complete. Unrestricted. That got my attention. I glanced at her markings again. The color hadn't faded. You're telling me your body just decided that? I asked. Yes. And you're okay with that? A pause. Then, I am adjusting. That made me laugh. Soft. Careful. Yeah, I said. That tracks. She looked at my hand again. At the tag. Then back at me. You carried this loss, she said. And it shaped your actions. Yeah. And those actions saved me. I shrugged. Didn't really think about it like that. I did. Silence again. But this time, it wasn't heavy. It wasn't sharp. It was steady, like something had shifted into place. And for the first time since I got dragged into this, I had a feeling the outcome wasn't going to be what anyone expected, including her. They brought us back to the chamber 3 days later. Smaller room, closer walls, same eyes, watching, waiting. She stood at the front. Armor again. Control restored. I stood beside her. That alone was enough to unsettle them. You called for his execution, one of them said carefully. And now he stands at your side. I did, she answered. No hesitation. And now, another asked. Her gaze didn't shift. Now I understand what I was about to destroy. Silence. She stepped forward slightly. This human stood against our fleet not for power, not for strategy, but because he would not abandon those under his protection. Murmurs. Disapproval. Fear. She ignored all of it. He saved my life, she continued. Without order. Without obligation. Without expectation. Her markings flickered. Just once. That blue. You speak of weakness, she said, voice sharpening. I see something else. No one argued. Not this time. She turned to me. Not as a ruler. Not as a judge. As something else. The Alien Empress demanded your execution, she said quietly. And now I offer you a choice. I looked at her. At the room. At the distance between what they expected and what was actually happening. What kind of choice? I asked. Leave, she said. Return to your people. Or stay. A pause. Not as prisoner. Not as symbol. Her markings shifted again. Steady. Honest. As someone I trust. The room held its breath. I glanced down at the tag in my hand. Still cracked. Still there. Then back at her. Yeah, I said. I figured it was going to be something like that. I didn't answer right away. And for the first time, she waited. Thank you for listening to this story to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Write in the comments what moment in this story impressed you the most. And also check out the other videos that just appeared on your screen. See you in the next video.